We've been discussing a lot about the importance of a weekly email newsletter, as we would say. We like to say journey to better health because your weekly email should guide the patient on their journey to better health. Absolutely critical for patient reactivations. But a lot of times docs can get caught in, well, what do I include? So I'd like to spend a few minutes diving into detail around the concept of teach and invite, how it can be applied really to anything a doc's putting out, blogs, videos, but specifically to the emails as we've seen. And then additionally, the 4 absolutely critical calls to action buttons, CTAs, a lot of different names for it. What are the actions that you need to have? And we've tested this. We sent about 2 million emails for 250 plus doctors around the world. We've done it for a long time. So we're probably well over 100 million emails sent. So we've learned in terms of what works, how do we optimize it, what's the best way to approach this in a way that can make, number one, the doctor feel good about themselves, right? Proud about what they're offering to their community in terms of education. But number two, drives a result, which is makes everything as enticing as possible for that inactive patient, that individual on your most valuable business asset, your patient list, to take action. So let's start with teach and invite, the concept in theory. A lot of I go to seminars all the time. I heard you talking about it. Docs always remember half of it. So let's spend a few minutes talking about teach and invite, the importance of it, why it's such a powerful framework. And then how does that connect to the buttons, actions, activities that can drive results within these emails?
Anybody watching or listening right now has probably had the experience. They went to a dentist, they went to a mechanic, they went to some sort of service provider of some kind, and they got some sort of email follow-up. In some cases, it was just leave us a review. In other cases, they actually start keeping in touch with you. They start sending you what you would call a newsletter. And wouldn't you know it, most of you couldn't care less, but a few of you do. You actually care, and you read it, and you end up buying something new in the future. That's how business is done in today's world. The question is, how do chiropractors do it for their businesses? And so the answer is that, one, sending a weekly email to all of your people in today's world is expected. When you have a service provider, when you have a relationship with a business, I get notifications from my car mechanic regularly. I get notifications from my dentist regularly. Any company, person, or business I have an ongoing relationship with, they're staying in touch with me on a regular basis. The question is, why aren't more chiropractors doing that? So you go, okay, that's a good idea. I should do it. Okay, well then how do you do it? Well, there's several ways. If you're a do-it-yourselfer, you can create your own weekly emails, and we know people that do it. We met somebody at the event last week. He goes, I love writing. I love doing it. It's my voice. Nobody's going to be better at my voice than me. Great. If that's how you feel and you love to do it, you should do it. But there's very few chiropractors I know that love to do it and can do it consistently, which means you've got to figure out a solution so that it's a sustainable solution. Otherwise, it's not a solution. So what are the key elements of a successful email campaign? 1, the cadence. We recommend weekly. 2, the format. We have over years evolved the format of our template to make sure that they highlight the important points, which isn't, here's a bunch of information, but is, here are the action steps we invite you to take. If you want to reactivate, ask a question, or refer, that's prominent, it's bold, and it's there multiple times. And if they click one of those buttons, somebody, you or your staff, are notified immediately, both via text and email. And if we could call you, we probably would call you too. But the point is for you to know when one of your people are taking an action so that you can either confirm the action was taken, as in they actually got onto your schedule, or you can follow up with them if you don't have Spark online one-click scheduling and you're still in the manual process. You can play the ping pong match of going back and forth, but ultimately get them on your schedule, answer their question, find out who they're referring. So in our weekly emails, the most prominent buttons in those emails are reactivate back, which is the number one thing we want people to do, ask a question, which is maybe the second thing we want them to do, and if it's not about them, then the third thing we want them to do is refer somebody. Those are big prominent buttons that notify you, the doctor, and the staff when that action has taken place so you can make sure that you complete the process. The other thing is visuals. You want to have great pictures. A picture speaks 1,000 words. So if you want to keep it brief, to the point, and emotionally engaging, pictures create or evoke more emotion typically than words. So having the right pictures that appeal to the right audience, that evoke the right emotions, that are matched to the right curriculum. What do I mean curriculum? Well, there's a curriculum. This is a journey. This is not, here's a new idea today. There's a curriculum for it. This month, we're talking about spinal health. We're talking about neck pain. We're talking about sports injuries. We're talking about kids and chronic disease. We're talking about fill in the blank. But doctor means teacher. And if you're going to provide value to people, you want to teach them something, not just wait until they're broken down so that you can fix them in a crisis, just enough so they're barely not in crisis, so they can go back and keep doing what they're doing. And nobody has to have to feel uncomfortable about having a conversation that in any way might approach the truth. So staying in touch with people, having the right buttons, having the right message, having the right visuals, having the right consistency. And again, I know it sounds repetitive, but making sure you don't just send it out, but you've got the feedback loop to know that when there's a fish on the line, there's a either buoy or an alarm or a bell or something that goes, we got one. And you can follow up and do something called follow up and take care of the people that are trying to get in touch with you, get in your practice, schedule with you, or refer. There's nothing more powerful technologically that does what we do. And it's unfortunately that most chiropractors don't think about doing the most basic things we're talking about. Make it easy for your past people to know how much it costs to come back, and make it easy for them to click and come back, and keep on telling them that they're always welcome back. That's business. If you want to make your practice easier, more profitable, more fun, and experience more freedom, then check out Patient Pilot's weekly reactivation emails to pilot more of your past patients back into your practice. Check them out at thesmartchiropractor.com.